for the midnight brand on Red Mesa. Smoking my love, stealing the Fraser. If the sky turns black, I couldn't straight her. Midnight brand burning on Red Mesa. They heat the iron where coyotes cry. They press a truth you can't deny. Red sand drinks names the courts refuse, a brand that outlaws always choose. I lift the iron, mark the claim, and will my oath to ash and flame. The boxcar priests sell mercy cheap. Their papers fold, their verdicts sleep. I trade their ink for wire and smoke, a creed that bites instead of spoke. If luck steps back and fear steps in, I brand the night on rock and skin. Dawn, the mesa glows like coal. The branded wind records the toll. I pack the fire, I ride it west, a scar that beats inside the chest. If heaven asks who carved it later, say midnight brand on Red Mesa.
Took the names in ash tonight, door by door, in the dying light. No saints to count, no law to trust, just every day recorded in dust. Lanterns hissed on buckled walls, boots heels scraped through quiet halls. A cradle cold, a Bible split, a badge gone dark where angels quit. They weighed each lie in ember gray and wrote the price the wind would pay. Ring, the child who learned what debts can bring. The census man did not forgive. He tallied those unfit to live. The moonlight brass against the plain stamped every name in soot and red. Bad on the ledgers, shed like grapes. The soot turned pale where daylight breaks. I signed my mark on cedar bone, a tally carved in smoke and stone. When thunder as two bears the blame, the ash rose up and spoke my name. By the brass moon over dead water, tracks in the silt where the shadows falter. If the river drags, I pull in harder. Brass moon burning over dead water. Like a tired sin, the cattails hiss where the bones begin. A lantern shakes on a nailed up door. The mud keeps secrets, keeps a score. I cross where maps refuse to mark, with coin that clinks like biting spark. Those smell salt and flame, their faces blur, forget their names. A sheriff's light hunts through the reeds. I drag my horse past river weeds. If faith runs low and luck runs thin, I bet on current, steel and skin. On the fog lifts copper bright, dead water blinks and yields to light. I shake the silt from boots and mane and leave no tie for what was slain. If heaven asks who crossed that quarter, tell them the brass moon bought the water. I ride down the salt road, cinder in my veins, white on my boots, fire in the rain. If fate turns cold, I break the chains. Salt roads burning in my veins. The flats glow white like a blinded truth. They mirror scars from lawless youth. A rusted sign, a hollow town, a distant train that won't slow down. I taste the brine on cracked up lips and salt the ground with fingertips. A caravan of debts rolls thin. They sell you hope in a tin can grin. I trade them dust for honest steel, a contract only outlaws seal. If mercy sleeps and luck complains, I lean on salt and cinder veins. By dawn the flats turn ghostly blue. A razor wind cuts clean and true. I pack the night in saddle seams and leave behind their paper dreams. If heaven asks what road remains, say salt and fire in outlaw veins. I ride with a coat that wouldn't pray, steel in the hand, no need to sway. If heaven speaks, it speaks in clay. I ride with a coat that wouldn't pray. A courthouse rail, a witness hush, a trigger's truth, a gallows blush. They asked my steel for mercy's name. It answered smoke and steady flame. No saints to beg, no psalm to say, just law and powder, parting way. At noon, swore by a star and turned too soon. I etched a line through badge and lie and let the daylight testify. If justice chokes on suits of gray, my steel still speaks the only way. By dawn the streets wore coated breath.
The crows kept time with walking death. I holstered dust, I holstered blame, and left the town without a name. If heaven asks what made me stay, say a coat that wouldn't pray. A coat that wouldn't pray.
10 halo, broken star. One says stay, the other says scar. If law won't speak, the night will start. 10 halo, broken star. He wore a badge that couldn't shine. It cracked across a guilty line. The church lamp hissed, the wires hung, the choir of flies around the slum. He lifted vows like empty jars and filled them up with powder scars. Lamp swung like a hanging breath. I tasted rust, I smelled old death. He asked for peace, I asked for truth. Both of them limped like a beaten hoof. We traded prayers for chamber rounds and let the verdict meet the ground. By dawn, the badge lay split in two. The halo smoked the sky to blue. I carved a line through churchyard tar between that halo and the star. No heaven's gate, no prison bar, just me and what those emblems are. I ride where the blackbirds count at midnight. Claws on the graves, eyes full of starlight. If the town keeps books, I'll set them right. Blackbird tally under midnight. The clock struck 12 with a copper tone. The churchyard breathed like an iron lung. Feather and ash on the crooked stone. A whispered roll call of the gone. I traced the names the night had kept and paid the debts the living left. The banker's books were clean as bone, but ghosts wrote ledgers of their own. I tipped my hat to the restless choir and lit the truth with a match head fire. If law looks blind by candlelight, the blackbirds see and mark it right. Dawn, the flock rose, razor thin. They carved the sky, they stitched my grin. I holstered dusk, I holstered doubt, and tallied what the town struck out. If heaven asked who said it right, say blackbirds did at dead of night. Where the gallows wind keeps score. Names in the dust, blood at the door. The road might sway, the judge might roar, but I was born for this. I'll ride once more. The bell roll creaks like a dying hymn. The courthouse eyes go cold and dim. They tally sins with knotted thread. They count the living like they're dead. I cut my mark in courthouse pine and let the wind read out the line. Draw careful sand. He measures necks by crooked hand. I ain't the fate they're searching for. I'm what comes knocking after war. Let juries talk, let ledgers write. I ride the edge of law and night. fold turns to bones. The crows translate the judge's tones. I trade my breath for a heart of steel and sign the truth that jurors feel. If heaven asks what debts I bore, tell gallows when it kept the score. I ride with the bone ledger of the plain, marks in the dust, tallies in vain. If fate keeps books, I cut the chains. Bone ledger open on the plains. The prairie writes in a flint gray hand. It underlines where outlaws stand. A buffalo skull, a weathered post. The wind recites the names of ghosts. I sharpen truth on cattle wire and brand my oath in amber fire. Sell smoke and lies. It weighs your worth by poker eyes. I cash in scars for iron pay and list the debts of yesterday. If lawmen frown at what remains, I file appeals and lead in flames. Dawn, the ledger flips to bone. The daylight stamps each settled loan. I fold the map, I close the gate, I sign my name with dust and slate. If heaven asks who kept the rain, say the bone ledger of the plain. The bone ledger of the plain. The bone ledger of the plain. I borrowed thunder from a blood-red sky It charged my name and it made me right. The note came due when the church bell cried. I paid in lead till the lightning died. They bartered hope and a dried up well, sold penance cheap and called it hell. I signed my debt with iron ink, felt desert bones begin to sink. The clouds kept scoring hammered steel, a bill that only guns can heal. Main Street froze when my shadow fell. The clock struck black, the whiskey yelled. No judge, no jury, just the rain, a signature of smoke and pain. I gave the sky its thunder back, one final spark along the trail. Its crown, the wind lay quiet over town. I holstered silence, holstered fire, and cooled the forge of my desire. If heaven asks what made me run, tell thunder I returned its gun. We swore an oath made of gunpowder and spit. If the word ever breaks, let the powder be lit. No preacher to bind it, no court to permit. An oath made of gunpowder and spit. The night with a match head spark, signed our names where the fields turned dark. Your glove held true, my barrel cold, two sinners weighing what can't be sold. The moon-red lips we couldn't quit, an oath made hard by blood and grit. With a paper chain, I smelled the lie in the kerosene rain. You looked at me and tipped your brim, a vow don't bend when the light goes dim. At dawn, see smoke from where we sit, it's just our oath, a fuse well lit. By daybreak, crows drew quiet arcs. The town wore soot like mourning marks. We We didn't ask for heaven's writ, we carried weight and carried it. If thunder asks who authored it, say we in dust and gunpowder spit. Oh.